It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here, and today's guest is a dear friend. I can say that because he can't deny it. His name is Wayne Willis. He's a mayor of Weaver. He's a retired law enforcement officer. We'll be right back to talk with Wayne right after this. Get your pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I'm still Ken Rollins. We're going to be talking with Wayne Willis. He's the mayor of the city of Weaver, and he's a retired law enforcement officer. And we're going to talk about a lot of things today. Welcome to the show, Wayne Willis.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Say that stuff. I see you all the time.
Yes.
We're Facebook hot, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We can say good morning and it goes viral.
Yeah, I know. I can just put the smallest thing out there, and my phone immediately starts blowing up.
As a matter of fact, this show we started talking about the things we need to talk about, business, all business, serious stuff, and then
Right.
somebody comes out there wanting to know what you're going to be wearing and gets into wardrobe, that kind of thing. But we're
That's
going
right.
to keep that a secret today.
That's probably best. Yes.
Yeah, that was started off about boots and stuff.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I will tell the audience, he does have those boots that you saw, but I ain't not going to tell you about the rest. So you use your imagination on that one. So we go back to a time. Now, this is Veterans Issues because I want to tie something in here that was very important to me as a host of this show years ago, but it was more important to you because your dad was a veteran. And I don't know what all you emulated in his life, in your life about him, but I know it was very important to you. And his picture hung out there on the wall. What was his relationship to Weaver? Why his picture was up there to start with?
Well, my dad was on the city council
Okay.
in Weaver, and when he passed in 1998, the council had so much respect for him as a council member. They named the council chambers after my dad.
Oh, okay.
And we had a picture of him in the council chambers in his dress blue uniform, which was something that my dad cherished,
Oh, yeah.
and I did as well. And there were some issues that after I left as mayor, one of the other mayors removed the picture for whatever reason. So the very first thing I did when I was sworn in, immediately after swearing in, is I made sure that picture was put back up.
And appropriate. So I see it there, and it's such a. It wasn't you putting a picture up there to start with. It was the city of Weaver. The leaders of it felt that he had contributed to that city, and you being a mayor. How long have you been a mayor now? 4 or 5 years.
Well, on and off, I was mayor from 04 to 08,
Mm-hmm.
and then I left and came back in 12, and I've been since.
Okay, because you know a little bit about how things happen and how you make things happen, because those of us in this community, in this area, have seen what you've done this time back. You came back with fire in the belly or something. Something just went crazy. Stuff started getting built and stuff started getting fixed. It was like things that wasn't even on the radar, nobody even heard of. Playground was one of the things, or wasn't it a park or
Right.
something like that?
Well, I'll tell you one of the things I learned. When I was mayor the first time, which was 04 to 08, I was still working as an investigator for Anston Police Department. I was working rape, robbery, homicide cases, and at the time I was trying to do that and be the mayor, which is, it's a part-time position,
Yeah.
but it's really a full-time job, and it was impossible to do the two. Then I left and went back to police department. I was promoted to sergeant and then later lieutenant. And through the course of those promotions, I was sent to some schools with the FBI and some leadership schools, and then experience leading people helped me tremendously. Being a supervisor of a group of individuals is a skill that's learned. Some people it's natural. For me, I learned it. So that helped me a lot coming back. And that's what gave me the fire in the belly, so you said, is I came back, I think, as a lot better public servant than when I was the first time.
One of the things that you just mentioned in there is the leader. And too many people think of a leader as a guy sitting in there at the desk pointing finger, do this, do this, do that. But if you think about it, the leader is out front, the people follow. You know, they're not in the back pushing people. They're in the front saying, come on with me and let's do this. And I've seen how the community fell behind you on this last go around. The participation in whatever events you're doing there, it's just all turned out there. Y'all were doing something in a building, modifying a building or for acoustical purposes. I watched that on Facebook. What was that all about?
Well, one of the things I felt like Weaver needed, our senior center was, it was an old house, it was falling, and it really wasn't adequate. So I came up with the plan that I wanted to build a new meeting center. And it would be large enough that we could rent it out and have a large facility, but as well as a meeting place for our seniors to get together and socialize and crafts and eat and have fun. And this is where it's very rewarding as far as a public official. I sat down basically at my desk and I drew out what I wanted. And that meant with the architect and then walking it through the entire process from my desk to actually seeing the building in the flesh was it's very rewarding. And now that people are actually using the building, it's amazing because the public has been coming out in droves just to visit and use the building. What you're talking about, though, is we built it with vaulted ceilings and concrete floors. So in the big room, because it's a 4,000 square foot facility, the reverb was so loud that it was hard to hold any kind of meetings. So I met with an acoustic engineer and asked him what could we do to fix that reverb, make it so it wasn't so loud. And the cost turned out to be somewhere in the $12,000 to $15,000 range. But the mistake he made was showing me what he was going to do, because I basically took his idea and went to Lowe's and bought the materials and did it myself, because it's a very simple concept. And I drew it down and I said, okay, we're going to have a work day. I need people to come out and help. And we ended up with 25 people. So we had an assembly line set up. We had some people cutting the frame, some people running the upholstery, and then another group of people putting them up. And it's fixed the problem. And we did it for less than $300 for the whole job. That was going to cost us anywhere close to 12. So I'm proud of that as well.
But for what people, if you've ever been to a city for a high school auditorium, and you're trying to talk to the group, and you go hello, hello, yeah, that kind of thing. These baffles that you put in there, I thought, well, coming out of the music business, that's why we do recording studios, is we deflect the sound and muffle the sound, if you will. That was a great idea. I saw that as a community project, though. It's like, that's what leaders do. They get people who encourage people to follow. Now you have several events there that are common to Weaver. What are some of those that you do other than the Christmas parade, which is coming up?
Well, first we'll talk about the Christmas parade. That's a big event for us.
I know that.
We have a big parade. It's as big as any of the larger cities. That's coming up on December the 3rd at 10:30 a.m. If there's any of your viewers that want to join us, there is no charge. It's free to come out and be a part of our parade. We encourage people that are in the parade to bring their families.
Do they need to call first?
If they would just call Weaver City Hall.
At 256, what's that number?
820-1121.
1121, okay.
If they'll call that number, they can get the details, but staging begins at 9:30 at the elementary school, and it ends in the park. One thing we're doing different this year, though, is we're adding Christmas crafts as well in our new meeting center, which is at the park. So come by and enjoy the crafts, and also check out our new meeting center, which is available for rental.
They're going to have things for sale?
It will. It will all be for sale, yes.
Okay. They're not making the crafts, they just got their crafts on display.
It's craft people that make their crafts and then bring them to sell.
I bet.
Kind of like our Heritage Day, but it'll just be a Christmas theme.
And that was one of the other things I was trying to think of, the Weaver Heritage Day you have. But we don't have enough time to go into that on this segment, so we got to go. We got to go to a break. But I want to take up on the parade. Let me just tell you, that's the last parade I ever marched in. Because if you start at the elementary school, you're going incline.
Right.
I wish y'all would have started at City Hall and went down, because I'd have been better off with.
Right.
Because by the time we got to City Hall, I was one tired little tourist.
Well, we can find a ride for you to get in. In fact, that's one of the things that we always have a very strong military presence in our parade, and that's something that a lot of the other communities don't. Yeah. And that's because Weaver was really founded as a military.
Bring my track chair out there. We got to go to
Absolutely.
break.
Bring it.
Be right back after this. Stay where you are. Get your pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We're talking with Wayne Willis, the mayor of Weaver. And Wayne, we went to break. We were talking about the Christmas parade, and people wanted to be in it. Phone number to go there, and I told you that was the last one I marched in. But I got a track chair now. You've seen my track chair. It looked like a tank. You know, it's a wheelchair with tracks on it.
I think you ought to bring it.
I was in the Anderson parade with it last year, not this past Veterans Day, but I was in it one time, and it's awesome. People love it. So I could really be in your parade there now.
Yes.
But I just couldn't walk it no more. but it was awesome. It was it's a great deal. That turnout out there is equivalent to some of the other bigger cities. So I want to touch on something that's we hadn't talked about, but I'd be interested to know your feelings on you. How many years was you in law enforcement?
27.
27. You were a lieutenant.
I retired as a lieutenant from
I mean,
Anniston.
you retired as a lieutenant. Okay.
Yes.
And you see what's happening today with the target on all the law enforcement back. That's got to just really make you, I'm non-law enforcement, but got a big old place here in my heart that hurts for what's going on in our nation regarding our law enforcement. Sunday we had 4 of them shot. It's like deer season, and there's an open season year-round on law enforcement now. It's what you want to address that.
These are scary times for law enforcement, and I don't think a lot of people realize that basically we're at war right here in our own country right now. When we have people attacking the law enforcement community just because they wear a uniform, that's war.
Yeah.
And I think we're losing sight that our law enforcement community is our last line in the sand. That's who's protecting us from the criminal element that would choose to take over. So we really need to get behind our law enforcement community and understand that when a law enforcement officer gets killed, that's not just a badge, that's a person. That's somebody's father, that's somebody's husband or wife. And it's this is the scary times for all of us.
Imagine young officer out there at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, pulls over a car with tinted windows, you can't see what's going on inside it, and you're walking up behind it, and beside it, and all you can do is put your hand on your service revolver. You can't take it out. You got it, and the guy is sitting there with his finger on the down button on the window with a Glock. Who's got the advantage in that situation? Even if you don't come up there beside him, you can go like this before he can undo it.
It's been proven. Just I don't care how athletic you are or how fast your reflexes are, the bad guy always has the advantage because he knows in his mind what he or she is going to do, where the law enforcement officer doesn't. They don't know until it happens. So we are lucky in this area. We have some of the finest law enforcement officers around. They're highly trained. They're all very professional. We have some great chiefs in this area. I have nothing but great things to say about all of our law enforcement community, from the entry-level rookie right on up to the state-level troopers and on up. So we're lucky. I think maybe sometimes we take it for granted because we have been so lucky. It's going to happen here.
Y'all lucky out there in Weaver to have Lieutenant Plitt. You may, he's still out there, I guess.
Oh yeah.
He's been on my show before. He's a character. He's made Weaver relevant, so to speak, with his social media thing he started up. But I wanted to say that to say this. The job that you've had in law enforcement, you said what you was rape and what?
I was rape, robbery, homicide investigator.
Okay, very, very serious thing.
All the big cases, yes.
But you also have a sense of humor. Anybody that knows Wayne Willis knows, first of all, they start to smile when they say your name because it's, I look, what I said after you got out of the law enforcement, you're on Dancing with Our Stars.
Yes.
I thought, no way I'm going to be dancing, somebody shooting at my feet, but man, you're getting in there with and it was, I watched it on TV. I think our TV station covered it, and I can't believe that, the work that you put into that. There's money raised on that, right?
Oh yeah, we raised over $70,000.
Wow.
And then all of the money stayed local, which is kind of a neat thing. It's not many charities can say that.
What does it do? What do you do?
It's all after-school education programs, boys and girls clubs, and every penny of it stays local.
Wow, I didn't know all that aspect of it.
Well, that's fun, and as a public official, sometimes you take yourself a little bit too seriously. Sometimes, I like to have fun, and I can laugh at myself as much as I can laugh with other people. And when you start taking yourself too seriously, it's time to get knocked down a few pegs.
But it's not unusual me to see you in the mountains. It's not unusual me to see you on the beach. It's not unusual for, Fuddpuckers. Wasn't that one of the places you hung out? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was, life is there.
Yes.
You can live it or you can watch it and whatever. You chose to do that. Let me go into something. I don't know if you can talk about it now, but we're watching something play out here in Alabama. And let me set it up. Jeff Sessions is our current United States Senator one of our senators for Alabama. He's been selected for Attorney General slot, pending confirmation. That's the key word, pending confirmation, to be the next Attorney General, which will make his spot in Alabama vacant. At that point, some dominoes are going to start falling, or blocks, or however you want to feel it. And I know that as much as you love Weaver, you are not happy to just stay there in Weaver if you can do something at another level. And I don't want to put you on the spot here today, but I do want to just go into some gray areas. Would you consider filling in one of them block seats if they were to fall?
I thoroughly enjoy public service. I don't consider myself a politician. When I become a politician, I'm going to get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm a public servant, and I haven't lost sight of that. I've had great success in Weaver, and I feel like I could probably be more of a help to our community at a higher level. So, yes, a lot of blocks have to fall in place the same way, but I've made no secret that my goal is to get to Montgomery in some capacity. So, depending on how things fall, I can say that I suspect my name will be on the ballot in 2018. That's what I've been planning for. The Sessions appointment just kind of sped things up a little bit. So I'm a supporter of Del Marsh, and I'm a supporter of Randy Wood. They're both friends, and I think they're great people, and I like them.
But both have plans too.
But they have plans as well. So I hope someday to work with them and get to Montgomery and bring some more positive things to our area.
Well, if you're talking with former Congressman Glenn Browder, you know, the things that you can do for your community, and in his case, the 3rd District, and what Mike Rogers now holds, what you can do for your district or your community from that level is multiplied what you can do in the city of Weaver.
Right.
And still help the people in Weaver from Montgomery.
Right. And you know, as a small town mayor, you can do so much, but there's limits to where you can go. But if you have a more broad area to where you can help a region versus just a small community, then it's a positive aspect, and that's my aspects. That's my goal. That's where I want to go. It's my aspirations to eventually get to Montgomery and go higher.
And you're not talking about just traveling down there. You want to serve this area or somewhere for the. And I think that'd be great. You got a guy in training out there, old Nick Bowles. Is he learning anything?
It's funny. Nick and I actually, our careers kind of mirror each other.
Yeah.
As I moved up through the chain, he moved up with me. Now he's a captain in the uniform division, but he's on the city council as well.
But he's got a sense of humor too. We're running out of time. That's it. Man, I appreciate you being on the show today.
I'm glad to do it. Thank you.
And it went way too fast. But I'm gonna put it down as a maybe you're gonna do then where the blocks fall. We're gonna keep an eye on that.
In 2018, it'll happen.
And I'll go on record right here saying you got my support 180%. How's that?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't care if my brother would be running against me. We got to go to a pause, break here. Come back. I got news that you can use. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Appreciate Wayne Willis coming on doing the show today. He'll be picked up on some stuff, and we're gonna watch those blocks fall here in Alabama, and we get over in this corner there, and maybe we can get them down to Montgomery and get some things done that we need done for our area. I could go into the thing. I should have done that. What all has happened for Weaver since he's been there, but it's just like took him from elementary up to college level, so to speak, and it's amazing. And I have to sit back and watch what he's done out there. So maybe you can do that in Montgomery. It's that time of the year, Toys for Tots, and if you want to help out, you have some kids that you know that are in need. The Marine Corps League takes care of that Toys for Tots here every year. We give you a phone number on that. That's why I told you to get the pen, 256-310-6481. 310-6481. That's Dan Long, and that's with the Marine Corps League, and that's where you get your application in for the kids for Toys for Tots. If you hadn't got a flu shot, it's not too late. They told me at the clinic before I got in there today was to let you know that you need to get in there and get that flu shot. If you do get the flu, it'll be less painful on you if you've had the shot. Again, as I always remind you, wash your hands. Wash, and hum a verse of Old MacDonald while you're washing. That's how you know when you got your hands clean or not. The number, I got a call last week for the audio clinic for the hearing aids and whatever over in Birmingham. And that number, the new number, is 877-894-2600, extension 4704. And if you've got a wheelchair that your veteran has a wheelchair that don't need anymore, or don't have to be a veteran, but a wheelchair, a power chair is what I'm talking about. If you don't need it anymore, I've got veterans out there that do need those chairs but are not qualified to get one through the VA. But they use it to run around their streets, to visit their neighbors and whatever, and go get their mail, and gives them a little bit of freedom. So if you've got a chair out there you no longer need, just give me a call, and you got my information here on the screen that tells you how to get in touch with me. So let's keep that in mind. And I want to remember, I keep forgetting this, but the Kia store, Don Hopkins and the bunch down at the Kia stores in Gadsden and on South Quintard sponsor this show. And Don is a Special Forces guy, and they give a 20% discount to first responders and first responders and military and veterans down there. So if you're going to have your car serviced and need parts for it or servicing, 20% off is very significant if you purchasing those services and parts. So keep Kia stores in mind, because that's good folks. And the guy, Special Force, and I'll tell you that story someday why I don't like Special Forces guys. But it's not bad, but it is. But anyhow, we'll leave that and hanging out there for you. I want you to remind to get that when you go get your tag, look at the law enforcement tag that we have. You do not have to be in law enforcement, but it's a beautiful tag, and it's in memory of all the law enforcement officers that have lost their life in the line of duty. And the proceeds from that tag go to help us work on the memorials up here in Anniston and the one in Washington, D.C. So you keep that in mind when you go get a tag. Today, this salute's going to go out for the guy that's done a whole lot for Weaver, and he's going to do a whole lot for the state if he's given the opportunity. And he's a very dear friend. I want you to keep it in mind when we watch these dominoes fall, and his name is Wayne Willis. This salute's for you, Wayne. We're out of here.